I don't mind saying it. I was pretty heated after taking the ball to the chin, so I think I remember saying like "F you, you little bitch," or something like that.
Hayden says this, I hear it. So I like turn around and I'm like, is he gonna get a penalty for that? And Onisha, the ref, she doesn't take any crap, and she's like, verbal point penalty, whatever. And
Yeah.
Hayden turns to her and goes, "What'd I say?" I'm
I just
like
wanna
actually cracking up at that point.
but I never saw it as like, "Oh, I'm just this little kid." Like, I kinda have, like, the ego of I'm a big dog, I'm like the chihuahua.
You got a Napoleon complex?
A what?
Yeah, you
Yo,
should
I
go to
barely made
school.
it out of high school. Yeah. I barely made it out of high school, man.
CoreViv Hydrate is an advanced electrolyte drink mix designed to ensure optimal hydration, essential for maintaining nerve, muscle, and brain function. The Hydrate formula is NSF certified for sport and is free of artificial colors or sweeteners. With 4 times less sugar and 3 times the electrolytes of grocery brands, the pure cane sugar aids in the efficient absorption of electrolytes, making it superior to water alone. Hydrate is used by more than 4 Major League Baseball teams, and Pink Lemonade is available in stick packs or a tub. Use code PICKLE, all caps PICKLE, at corevive.com, CORVIVE.com, to save 30% off your order. Well, welcome to the show. I've never seen you without like sunglasses and a hat on and all swagged up. So
I know.
Still got
I'm
the chain though, huh?
looking. Yeah. Let me pop that out. Just show you who Big Dog is.
got to stay on brand.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, Hayden, I've never actually chatted with you before, so pumped to have you on the pod and get to know you a little bit better. I know a lot of people are curious about who you are off the court. Got a lot of personality on, but welcome to the Pickle Pod, man.
I
Overdue.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So obviously, first question is, what did you say to get an orange card the other day, Big H?
Well, yeah, I don't mind saying it. I was pretty heated after taking the ball to the chin, so I think I remember saying like "F you, you little bitch," or something like that, or something around that. I think I
Did I
said it
deserve
twice too. I would say you deserved it. I would say you did.
The funniest part was Hayden says this, I hear it. So I like turn around and I'm like, is he gonna get a penalty for that? And Onisha, the ref, she doesn't take any crap, and she's like, verbal point penalty, whatever. And
Yeah.
Hayden turns to her and goes, "What'd I say?" I'm
I just wanna
actually cracking up at that point.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she knew what I said, like, I was valid for an orange card, like, I just wanted to make sure. So I had to ask her.
Very, very unprofessional.
Yeah.
How many sponsors do you lose because of that?
None, I think all my sponsors texted me actually, like, he deserved it. No, I'm just kidding. No one said that. I'm just kidding. We might
No,
need
I
to cut
did.
that out.
So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. You deserve the nasty Nelson, and I deserve to be called "F you, you little whatever you said."
I can agree with that. That was the best time to nasty Nelson though. I was like, "Why? What are they talking about? Like, there's nothing to talk about. It's 23, like 7. Like, grow up. You guys are done." And then I just take one to the chin. I'm like, "Well, okay, yeah." I
So
deserve
for
that.
context, if anybody didn't watch Major League Pickleball this past weekend, my team, the Fives, we played the St. Louis Shock, two of the, I'd say, better teams in the league, and we lost our women's for the very first time, and then we had the men's up, and Will and I were down pretty big. Willie was I feel like Willie was sleepwalking a little bit, and we were down big, and it was just such a so much chirping the entire time.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
every
we all
point.
know each other, and we're all decent enough buds. We all like to talk a little crap, and we're down 12-23, I think was the exact score. I'm like, all right, I got to try something to get A, Willie fired up, and B, maybe I can get in these youngsters' heads and whatnot. So I ask Will, I'm like, do you care if I nasty Nelson Hayden right now? And he's like, go for it. And so I blistered one at him at 23-12. It clipped the net and got him. But it was going to get you even if it didn't hit the net.
Oh, 100%. It was gonna hit. I think it was better to hit the net because then it hit me in the face. Like it probably felt a little bit better.
For sure. And
Yeah.
then, but like everyone online is commenting like Zane's unprofessional, Hayden had it coming, like we're both the bad guys.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
we're boys. Like
Yeah.
we had I look back at that match and is one of the most fun matches of the year that I've played. Like we lost, but like the energy was incredible. Was there something that you guys
Insane.
did ahead of time to like get pumped up, or like what was the deal going on?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just like I was on the 5, so that had me pumped up. You know, the Anna Bright, Anna Lee thing, and then Will, he just thinks he's good, so, like, we're just like, "Nah, fuck this. I mean, frick this guy." And, and and basically, we were just like, you know, we're just gonna come with a lot of energy coming out at Mari, like, we just want it bad, and I think that's what kinda fired us up, and then I think actually you guys, like, were a little flat at first, like, but we brought, like, all the talking, and then you kinda Ryan stepped up, everyone started to step up. But we were just pumped to play you guys. We wanted it bad.
Wait, what's the Anna Lee thing?
Oh, I mean, like, there's, you know, the top girls, like, fighting for the number 1 spot. Obviously, Anna
Is it a
Lee is
fight?
number 1. Oh, can you chill out? Chill out here. You
I'm
guys
ready
are
to
putting me
talk
on
some
the
more crap. I'm ready to continue where we were
No,
going.
no, 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 no. But, you know, they're top girls. They wanna prove who's the best, so they were going at it.
For sure. At what point do you think it goes too far? And where should MLP draw the line with like crap talk, energy, all that stuff?
Um, I think when it gets super, like, personal, like, you know, like, you can say whatever you want. Like, for me, if it were up to me, like, I'd be like, if everything's you can say whatever you want as long as it's cool off court. Like, I don't care what you tell me. Like, as long as it's just, like, all fun and games on court, and then off court, you're good. But I don't know I don't really know where the line should be drawn. I'm pretty immature. Like, I'm down for whatever. I think that's more of a question for you and Thomas. I don't know.
Interesting.
So just to clarify, are you 16, 17 now? 17?
No, I'm an adult. I'm 18.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Welcome.
That's
Welcome.
what his
I know,
McLovin
right?
ID says.
That's right. That's fine.
And you've been playing for how long?
I've been playing for like 4.5 years now, almost 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, of all the different trash talking moments you've been involved in, and my personal favorite, by the way, is the one where Lucy blew you a kiss.
Oh,
You
yeah.
graciously caught the kiss.
Yeah.
What are some other like moments that have been fun for you or memories that you have?
Mhm.
Obviously, you know, we've seen a lot of examples of you getting pretty vocal on the court.
Yeah, I think the top ones are this last match with the 5s. Definitely the one with Matt Wright. I think I gave him an FU in that tournament also. And then I always go at it with Rafa. It doesn't matter if it's round of 64 or quarter or wherever. I always like going with Rafa. I think every match with Rafa, I'm chirpy.
Do your parents watch all your matches? Do they come out support?
My parents go to most of the MLPs. They didn't go to this last one. I'm not. My mom was just going back to work, and they were working. But yeah, they usually do come out and support the MLPs or the local PPAs.
What do they say to you? What do they say about the on-court antics? I know like my mom would probably laugh and my dad would chew me out if
Yeah.
you know, I was going at people like that. But, you know, I think you bring a lot of like really positives to the game. I'm a big
Uh huh.
fan of watching you play because of that. But
Uh
what's your parents' take on it?
huh. At first, my parents, I think, were like not okay with it. Like, I grew up playing with Warnick, so like, and my parents would always drive me to like
A true
LA
father
and
figure.
yeah, Warnick. So they were like used to like the chirping, like hearing Jeff and stuff. But at first, when I started doing it, I don't think they liked it as much. But like it's kind of just like I just did it with Jeff, so like I'm always gonna do it. Um, but yeah, at first they didn't like it, and then like they were like, you know, whatever. Like they're kind of over it. Like they told me not to do it or like don't start it. And then like I think it just kind of like mellowed out. They're like, whatever, he's gonna do it. So we're just gonna put our heads down and watch the game.
So, who do you think are the top 5 shit talkers in pro pickleball?
um, Jeff Warnick, Matt Wright, I would say you're pretty good at it, Zane. You're pretty good. Just because you have that like weird, like you're blowing kisses at me and stuff, that was really making me mad.
I did tell Anna Bright's mom when she she had a foot fault. I was like, I shit talked Anna Bright's mom. I was like, put that on a t-shirt, Mrs. Bright.
The peacock.
Oh my god, the peacock.
Anna started cracking up from the court when I was shit talking
Did
her
you really?
mom.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. Yeah. So Matt Wright, Warnick, Rafa, you. I would say me, right? Would I put? I could put myself in top 5 or no?
Send it.
I'm gonna put myself in top 5.
Okay. What about Frenchie? Frenchie's got to be in there.
Oh,
I feel like
he's mellowed out though. Like
he has.
he's.
It's a true shame.
It's terrible. He's being Mr. Nice Guy. I don't really like it anymore. But I could put Frenchie up there also.
What about on the women's side? Who's good at getting in people's heads?
The women's, I would say Annalee's pretty good. Annalee could get annoying sometimes.
Really? Like, what does she say? I mean,
doesn't-
she does like the come-ons and stuff, but
she doesn't chat too much, but she's just like in your face about it. Like,
yeah,
it's good
so that
energy.
yeah, that she's pretty good at it. And I think it's just super in your face is annoying to me. But I love Annalee, but I don't even know like who talks smack in the women's. Does anyone, Zane? Do you know anyone?
I honestly can't think of too much either.
I think it's just Lucy. Like maybe Callie and Lucy together, they kind of chirp, but that's about it.
when you get in like a chirp fest with like a Matt Wright who's approaching 50, you're 18 years old. How does that
allegedly.
feel talking to someone like that? I mean, on the court, different rules, but it's got to be an interesting dynamic.
I don't really think of it that way, honestly. Like if you're chirping, you can take it. I mean, that's kind of the way I see it, no matter what age. I think it's weird when people are like, you shouldn't be talking to your elders like that, but we're playing for the same thing. I think it should be fair game for everyone.
Well, it goes the reverse too. Like every time we've posted a few clips where it's like Matt Wright screaming at you, or somebody who's older screaming at somebody who's younger. There's a lot of teenagers on the tour, and it goes both ways, right? It's like you shouldn't be shouting at kids, and then also respect your elders. But on court, anything goes, in my opinion.
I agree.
Sweet. Well, how do you feel like the weekend went for the Shock? You had some up and downs.
Yeah, I think that overall our weekend was good. We lost to Dallas. I think we were a little flat in that one, but I think we play them in Kansas, so I think we can come out on top in the next one. We just need to get some more energy, but overall, I think we had a good weekend. Beating you guys was great.
Wait. So Zane, going back to that, at what moment are you like, you know what, I'm just gonna rip the ball at him? And
I want to know
any
this.
thought process besides this will be funny?
No, I mean, well, the thought process is like we're down by a bunch. I got to try and piss off Hayden and Gabe to try and change up the momentum. It worked a little bit, right? Like next point, I had a sitter that I missed, and then you got reduced a point for cussing, so it kind of worked. But
honestly, I feel like that like pumped me up more. Like I was more relaxed. Like 23-12, like or 13, we're up so big. Like I'm chilling. And then after that, I was like, let's just I was just over it. Like I just wanted it to be done.
Yeah, what's up with the no paddle tap afterwards, bro? That's so disrespectful.
Dude, I was steaming. I couldn't do it.
All right, what do you think about paddle taps? Like, should there be paddle taps in between games and PPA? Should there be paddle taps in between games at MLP?
I don't really have a thought on it. For MLP, I think it could go either way. Like after the match, as long as you guys are tapping paddles or whatever, it's fine. For PPA, I think you should tap after a game, like just like for mutual respect, I guess. MLP, I feel like it's a little more Wild West. I feel like you can do whatever you want, but for PPA, I think you should paddle tap after the game.
Gotcha.
After you hit him though, what was like the crowd's reaction?
It was just a lot of like, oh,
yeah.
It wasn't like they were laughing or like entertained. It was just like,
I think there were some boos, some cheers.
Yeah.
Just like everybody was making some sort of noise.
I think Annalee told me after that, like you deserved it, and I was like, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. But no one was like, I feel like the fans were pretty even there. Like I think there wasn't like a favorite in that match, you know,
Mhm.
which was good. I think that it was pretty fair cheering.
Agreed. So what's next for you? Are you guys playing in KC this weekend?
Yeah, we're playing in KC. We have 4 matches in the
4 matches?
100-degree weather. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, but you guys get to fly in the private jet over there, right?
Maybe we might get picked up. Our team owner Rich is, I don't know where he is, but he might stop by and pick us up in the jet.
What's that like? You ever think you're gonna be flying private jets around the country playing pickleball?
No, it's insane. Like I, I'm so thankful for our owners. Like they're great. It's a crazy experience hanging out with them. Like they're just great people, and the jet is insane. It seats like 15 people, and like we're literally spread out around the jet. Like Anna's sleeping on the couch, Gabe's listening to Bad Bunny, and I'm just sitting there watching Fox News with Rich. You know, it's kind of crazy.
So are you guys in an Airbnb right now, or are you at somebody's house?
We're in a hotel.
That's a hotel. That looks like an
Yeah,
Airbnb.
yeah,
Nice
hotel.
bed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Owners hooked it up again.
Oh yeah, that's how we do it at the Shock. Come on.
And you like playing with Gabe? Seems like he's a decent buddy of yours.
Yeah, I love playing with Gabe. It's great. It's super fun playing with someone my own age and having the same energy. So it's been good. At
Yeah.
first, like when I first met Gabe, like I didn't really like him. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I thought he was a little weird. Like he's kind of like snarky, but we got close quick. I'm sure.
He's in the room, right?
Yeah, he's in the room.
Yeah, I still don't like him.
Zane said he still doesn't like you.
Nah, I just don't know Gabe too much.
Yeah, no, I didn't know him either, and I got to know him. He's cool. He's funny to be around.
Nice.
So are you in school right now? What's the situation there?
No, so I graduated high school, and I'm not doing college right now. I'm gonna do the full pickle thing and see where it takes me.
Will you go to college eventually?
I feel like it all depends what happens in these next like 3 years. Like my parents are totally support me with whatever I do, but I think I'm just gonna wait, see how these 3 years go with all these
Yeah.
contracts, and then see what to do from there. You know.
I think
How'd
that's the right move.
How'd you come to this decision? Like, was it a difficult situation? Because you graduated high school in May or June of
2023.
2023.
Yeah.
Like, you must have made the decision to continue with pro pickleball, like at that point, or even earlier, right? Because you're supposed to be
Mhm.
applying for colleges during that period of time. Like, take us through the decision to, or at least the conversation that you
Uh-huh.
guys had.
Yeah, so I think probably around January, December, I think like after the MLP with the fives, like I started to break out in tournaments, like I was starting to get better wins. And then you know, Franklin is like the biggest help for me. Like Franklin's always been with me, and they support me fully. Like they've always paid me well. And I think mostly Franklin is like what kept me in it. Like my parents were always down to help me with like financials to like get me to where I want to go. But Franklin was a huge part of that. Like they gave me a great contract, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna do this. Like I can always go back to college was the thought process. Like, and my parents were fully on board with that. You know, they love watching me compete, and they were down for it.
So they left it in your court. They said, Big H, you can do, this is your choice. And
Uh-huh.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
that was pretty much it. Yeah.
nice.
So
Yeah.
your buddies from high school, what do they think of all this? It's gotta be
They think
interesting.
yeah, they think it's crazy. Like I have a close friend, Luke, from I met him in 6th grade or like 5th grade. And he's super stoked. Like he follows me on Instagram and is always in my comments and stuff. But yeah, no, he tried playing for a little bit. I think he's like the younger generation are always like get rich quick, and I'm like, well, I played this for like 4 years, bro. Like you gotta like grind if you want to like do it. And after like 3 months, I think he was done. But he wanted to try it, try to do it. But yeah, they all love it.
Yeah, but they're like pretty up to date on everything that you're doing. If
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
buddy doing what you're doing, I'd be like glued to every match.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he's glued to it, but he definitely keeps up with it. He's super stoked for me. Like he texts me and stuff, so it's pretty sick.
Sweet. Well, what does the obviously other than MLP, what's the rest of the year look like for you partnership wise? I know you're playing a ton with Callan before.
Uh-huh.
Who do you have for the rest of the year?
So for the rest of the year, I have Christian, Pablo, Fed, and then one with Deckel.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
had, oh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think those are great partners. I'm excited to play with Deckel a lot. Deckel's fun to be around.
But you and Fed had a really good run back in San Clemente, right? You guys what?
Yeah, Fed and I had a good run in Sacramento. We
Sacramento.
got
That's right.
gold,
That's right.
and then I played with Pablo and got silver.
Damn. What do you
Yeah.
attribute your sort of breakout to?
Like when I broke out.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it towards the end of 2023. You felt like that was sort of your breakout and you started to get
Yeah,
better results at that point, but you've
yeah.
continued to climb since then, right? Like
Mhm.
at the end of 2023, most players probably wouldn't have called you a top 10 guy. And I would
Right,
say, like, now there's a pretty solid argument that you definitely are. Um,
right. Yeah, I would say Daytona MLP was like the confidence I needed to keep climbing those ranks. But after I was always playing like I thought I was always playing well. But I think right when I started playing with Fed, like I think like that just like changed everything. Like the way he plays, like his mindset, like I think that helped me a lot playing with Fed, like having that intensity on the court and yeah, and winning, just boosted my confidence. Was that the first tournament of the year or what? What was the first tournament of the year? I don't
for
even know what month it is right now. Honestly, I'm tripping out. But I would say, um, yeah, but it's been like a slow grind. Like I don't even know how to explain like the breakout. Like I mean, Zane, you've known me forever. Like
Mhm.
it's been pretty slow, right? Like like
Yeah,
I'll get a win here and there, and then it just keeps getting a little better. I guess I don't
yeah.
know when that first breakout win was.
It is interesting, right? Like some of the younger players who pickleball is their like primary sport and don't come over from a tennis background, they don't
Mhm,
always seem to have this like one moment where it's like, yeah, that was their breakout tournament. I think of
mhm,
somebody like Dylan who's just continued to slowly progress year over
mhm.
year
Yeah.
and get better. And I would kind of put you in that category too, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've gotten better the entire I still remember watching you in that one tournament in Newport Beach when you were like 14 and you were playing against somebody that like hooked you and you had all of Newport Beach like cheering for you and talking
Yeah,
crap to the opponents.
yeah, yeah.
And like and then from there like you just that you were probably a 5-0 at that point. I think that was a 5-0 mixed
Mhm.
doubles tournament where you were like in a very competitive match
Yeah.
and it's interesting to see that the young players that are coming through, even Gabe to a certain extent too, right? Like he's
Mhm.
been playing for a while and it's just been a slow upwards trajectory
Yeah.
over time. I remember
Same with
writing an
Georgia
article.
too.
Yeah, Georgia. I remember writing an
Yeah.
article for the Dink, like 2021's players to look out for. Maybe it was 2022, and it was like Georgia, Gabe. I don't know who the hell you were at that point, but some of these people just a slow upwards trajectory and
Right.
continues to build the game, which is interesting in contrast to some of the tennis players who have that one moment where it's like, okay, this clicked,
Mhm.
and then they're balling out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden, you were at my level at that point. I was
Yeah, I
playing
think I
you and
played
like
you once, right? I
yeah,
played
you
you
and
in
like
San Clemente.
yeah, maybe Mary Brasha you were playing with?
Yeah, I think it was Mary or Mary. It was Mary. Yeah, you're right. I played you in
Yeah,
San Clemente.
we had just lost to Julian and his partner, and he just took over the entire court. We were super pissed, and we went to play you guys, and I think it was like 15 to not a lot, and
Really?
we were
Yeah.
done. But
Yeah, I
that
remember
was
that.
5-0 mixed, right?
5-0. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so, do you agree with sort of the idea that you are better suited for Major League Pickleball? I feel like, as far as maybe up until this year, Major League
Uh-huh.
Pickleball seemed to be really where you were able to break out and shine through. Do
Mhm.
you look at the tour versus Major League Pickleball differently? And how do you feel about that sentiment?
I agree with what I would say MLP was was where I shined a little bit more. I think now I'm doing better at PPAs. But I think my mindset with MLP was I had a lot more like fun. It was a lot more loose. I could play a lot more loose and talk smack to people, and I think that helped me play a lot better. But I think now I'm starting to figure out I don't need that as much in PPAs, and like I can do my thing and still play good. And I think it's shown like I'm starting to meddle with different partners, which is sick. So I'm pretty hyped about it.
Yeah. Would you say, all right, this is for kind of like the casual players, right? Like, would you say there's one or two things that are the biggest difference between playing 5-0 and then actually being able to like make it through to deeper rounds on the PPA tour, or, play consistently to the point where you're getting drafted in Major League Pickleball?
I think one thing that was huge for me was it was a lot. It was very mental. Like you could I remember I was playing with Wyatt Stone against like Rob Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. Like we were good enough to beat them, but I think it's all mental. Like we were up, I think like 13-7, and that's like that mental that you need. You need the experience to like win that match, put that away, that big match. But I don't think that's what you have to learn, and I think that's the most important. Having that mental and being able to like close a match like that is what will get you to the next level. Like we didn't close that match. We lost like 15-13, I think, which was terrible.
And is that just like playing with more patience, waiting for your moments,
Mhm.
maybe playing smarter defensively? Like, what part of the mental game um, is like the X factor?
I think honestly, it's a lot of experience. Like it's reps. Like you have to be in. You need to be in like 10 of those matches to like be able to put that away. And then yeah, you get tight. You get nervous. You start speeding up balls you shouldn't. Driving balls you shouldn't. So I think it's all about staying patient and picking the right opportunity.
Right. And how are you looking at singles versus doubles?
Um, s- so my mindset with singles and doubles right now in PPA is I'm playing singles, just having fun, doing it for practice for MLP. I think I've been doing better with that. Like mentally, it's good. Like I just kind of go out there, do my thing, and it works out. Like I think it's good to just for me because I didn't play tennis. It's easier to just take it lightly and have it as like a practice, and I think it helps a lot. I think I'm getting better at singles because of that.
Yeah. Who wins in a match right now if you two go play?
Me and Zane.
Singles?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be money though. We have to put money on it, and if there's money on it, I'm winning. Come on, come on, Zane.
Wow. All right. Done. Make it
Let's
happen at the
go.
next one. Let's play.
Let's go. I'm in. All right.
This
I have
guy.
that same bet with Roscoe Bellamy. That guy thinks he could beat me, and it's crazy of him. We haven't got to it, but we have like a $500 singles match, and he is so cocky about it. I think I'm gonna smoke him. Like we need to live stream it or something.
All right. So that's cool about that. But I want to ask. All
I
right.
just want to
So
tell you guys.
yeah. Other matchups that have gotten some attention over the last few days on DJ's podcast. Ryan Sherry was on there, said if he were to play Anna Lee Waters,
Yeah, I saw that.
he would win. It has to be 3 out of 5 sets. He thinks he would lose 1 set and win in 4 sets. If Sherry plays Anna Lee, who wins?
Anna Lee, there's no doubt. In 3.
Tommy, what do you think?
Anna Lee is good.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was interested to hear his answer because I feel like that could be a toss up. But he's kind of like in the standings. He's like in that range of players where you're like, yeah, I don't know if Anna Lee could come in and beat these guys, right? That's always been the question. Like Anna Lee converts over to men's, like where does she fall?
Mm-hmm. So my thought on this is I think Anna Lee rocks him in straights. However, I think Ryan Sherry is an absolute matchup nightmare for himself in this one. Sherry is very good. The problem here is Ryan doesn't cover the net well enough, and Anna Lee has money passes, right? So if Ryan were to come into the net, Anna Lee's passing him all day. And if Ryan stays back, he's a better baseliner than 70% of guys, but guys don't play the baseline game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Annalie's better than him at that as well. She's more consistent there. So I think I think somebody of comparable level, let's say similar duper to Ryan Sherry, and I don't know what his duper is, could give Annalie a better match than Ryan. But like, I'm thinking Annalie's a top 25 male singles player.
No doubt. I
Like,
remember warming up with her on the fives. Like she would smoke me. She is very good.
For sure. Yeah, no, I try to match up against Will when we're practicing Dream Breakers for my own ego.
When was the first time you heard the nickname Big H? Do you like it? Should we think about some alternatives for you?
It was Warnick actually gave me the nickname. It was Warnick that came up with it. It was everyone would call me Little H or like, Little Hayden. And then Jeff, would make this joke. No, it's Big H. Like he would just like every time. So it kind of just stuck, and then it's been here forever. I think I want to keep the nickname Big H.
Yeah, it's clean. It's an easy one.
Just to keep Warnick in the game.
For sure.
What was it fun to like grow up being sort of the, little H amongst all these adults, and you're all kind of doing the same thing, competing on tour, traveling around the country?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I think like I've lived my best life. I love it. It's been great. But I never saw it as like, oh, I'm just this little kid. Like I kind of have like the ego of I'm a big dog. I'm like the Chihuahua.
You got a Napoleon complex?
Oh, what?
Yeah, you should
I
go
barely made it out of high school. I barely made it out of high school, man.
Awesome. Well, anything else you want to ask Big H?
No. Glad to finally have you on. I think we should do it again for a longer episode. I know
I'm down.
You gotta run.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're kind of a mystery. You got the hat low, you got the chain, you got the sunglasses. So to get you off court and just kind of hear from you, I think is cool, and people will appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. I'm definitely in for another one. We can
we'll try and do it.
I want to get there. I want to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to be
whenever
there.
The next Texas Open is sometime next year.
Okay. Yeah, we'll run it up.
Lock in.
We're locked. Come on.
All right. Good luck this weekend, Hayden. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
See you, boss.
All right, later.
That guy. I don't know if we want to bleep that or cut that or what.
No, he was he's much less he's much more chill off court. So I'm glad we actually got the chance to talk to him. He presents as like this cocky little kid out there. So I like that about him though.
No, I mean he's clever, and he is a very good crap talker. And he we asked the question about where the line is, and I think the line is where you start to go into people's private lives, which somebody's missing dinks or somebody's whatever, like that's all fair game. And the dude is a respectful crap talker. Yeah. So kudos. And we clearly have zero beef. Like I said, it was one of the more fun matches I've played. He dishes it out. I dish it out. We both take it. And, I hit him with the nasty and we hugged it out afterwards. So we're all good.
Did you guys actually hug?
I gave him a little hug. Yeah. I gave him a little hug. I gave him a congratulations and said that it was a fun match. So
good. Very, very big of you. All right. So one thing I wanted to talk about, because I feel like it's come up on a few episodes. We haven't really talked about it at length, but sort of circulating, especially on Twitter. I think maybe Maddie Pickles was like, give me your hot takes. And then there was some back and forth. And essentially the one thing I saw that was interesting that I kind of agree with is that it seems like Ben is somewhat checked out. He seems to kind of lack energy out on the court. And somebody sort of presented the idea that it could just essentially be fatigue. I mean, you guys are playing so much throughout the year. What's your take on that? Do you think this fatigue is a real thing? Just kind of being exhausted by the grind.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a few things going on there, right? First off, Ben's team owner screwed him by paying max money for Ben and not spending another dollar on top of that. So first and foremost, if I'm Ben, I'm mad on draft day, right? Like that's not cool in my book. So he hasn't had the best supporting cast. Um, you know, and it's not because his supporting cast isn't necessarily like. I mean, I think they're doing their best. You didn't spend all of the money that you had, right? Like, we see the teams that didn't spend all their money aren't doing well, and that's Carolina and the Black Diamonds. So there is that. The interesting thing is, to me, it looks like Ben's trying but disinterested.
Yeah.
He's not tanking. He's not like hitting dumb shots into the bottom of the net just trying to leave. He looks like he's putting in effort, but like not 100% mentally locked in, right? He's making errors that you're just not used to seeing Ben make. And I think burnout is a real thing regardless of how good you are. I mean, I had a period in 2022 where I was feeling pretty burnt out by the end of the year. I think it's natural in the course of any athlete's careers to have ebbs and flows in the intensity that you're able to produce on the court. So, I mean, if I had to diagnose it, I would say it looks like Ben and Colin are burnt out of pickleball.
Hmm.
Not necessarily even MLP, but MLP is a somewhat of a worst case scenario for them because you have to be completely locked in for the entire match. And if you have a few lapses in focus or energy, as is common with players who are burnt out, you get penalized for it far more than in a PPA setting where you have multiple matches per day and you're playing 2 out of 3. And you're also the only ones in control of your own destiny, right?
Mhm.
Here you have 2 other players that you need to cheer on to try and, help them improve. So, long story short, it looks like Ben and Colin are burnt out and on a team that doesn't properly support them.
Right. Yeah. You just take a vacation. That's what vacations are for.
I guess, but when are they going to take a vacation? They got 20
Actually,
plus
Colin
PPAs as
Colin
well.
was telling me he's taking like a bunch of vacations right now. So maybe this is what he needs to be like Aspen. He's like traveling around. So and I don't think it's for pickleball. So we'll see if that can help them recharge. What's like the sentiment amongst players right now enjoying MLP versus just not wanting to play it altogether?
I think it's pretty clear just like watching people, right? You can see the people who are super into it, and then you can see the people who are just there so they don't get fined,
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch style,
Yeah.
right? So I would say I think it's probably 80% of players love it, 20% despise it.
Yeah.
A few of the players sat out, right? Like Matt and Lucy, Julian and Lauren, and the Brashias. I can't really think of anybody else. Maybe I'm missing some people. There's some people who decided to sit out ahead of time. There are some people who should have decided to sit out if they're going to put forward this effort.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like burnout can happen at any event, right? You just get penalized more for it at a Major League Pickleball where the stakes are higher on every single point. So it's more the effect of burnout is amplified at a Major League Pickleball event when compared to PPA.
Right. When you think about like building a brand, securing sponsorship dollars, it's debatably less important to be successful in Major League Pickleball. And even if you are as successful in Major League Pickleball, it does less for your brand because you're in that team environment. Like I could definitely see a situation where I get drafted to a crappy team and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I care about playing the tour. I'm less accountable to the success of this team because this is a group, whereas on a tour, I'm an individual. And when I do win on a tour, that's what's more likely to get me a better contract or more sponsorship dollars?
I would disagree with you there. Obviously, like I think doing well on the tours is super important. I got a fuzz. I got it. Doing well on the tours is super important, but there are a bunch of players who have emerged through Major League Pickleball, right? I think of most recently Mari Humberg on our team is getting a ton of publicity that she previously wouldn't have, right? She's getting a lot of recognition, and like clips of her are going viral online, right? She's a player who's emerged because of MLP. I think back to last year, Julian Arnold, right? He really had his, I guess, sort of uh, breakthrough because of the MLP and because of his fieriness. So, like, I think MLP gives you an opportunity to win more matches because the playing field is a little bit more level and showcase your personality a little bit more. So, I think yes and no. I can see where if you're on a team that's going nowhere, you can just kind of phone it in, but that would be the same of any team sport, right? If you're an NBA player, if you're Victor Wembanyama and you're on the Spurs and they're like in last place, right? You could just kind of skate by, but like at a certain point your ego wants to win, and all right, if I produce even if I'm on a bad team, I'm going to get a better contract next year, or I can sign with a better team, right? It's incentives.
So you don't think players are less incentivized to be successful in Major League Pickleball?
I would say it's hard to fully generalize that statement. There are players who have used Major League Pickleball very effectively to make a name for themselves, and there are players that do seem to sort of check out. I think certain people like thrive in a team environment, and there are superstars in other leagues that are team players, right? Messi and Ronaldo are on teams of with 11 people on the field, and they're still the standout guys. There's no one-on-one alternative for them to play, but just because it's a team thing doesn't mean you can't stand out and be a superstar in the sport.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents on it, but I've always been bullish on Major League Pickleball for the future of this sport.
Well, I think there's like an asterisk to the question. It's dependent also on where you are in your career, because MLP could be your breakout. But if you're a more established player, then kind of my initial question probably is more true.
I suppose so if people know you, but people see a different side of you in Major League Pickleball too. Like you're allowed to go play with your full energy and personality, it seems like, which is again I think important.
All right. Can I read something to you?
Maybe. Send it.
Pickleball is causing PTSD, mental disorders, and one guy claims it's about to cause his divorce. It's the latest target of legacy media like the New York Times and New York Post and a bunch of others. And now there's even activist groups who are forming to stop its spread. The noise is so bad, apparently, and that's what the issue is, the noise, that one woman installed a $35,000 set of hurricane force windows. It's like listening to an AK-47, said one guy. One Reddit user described it as audible cancer. A little aggressive. At 85 decibels, which is within like 80 feet, it's 85 decibels. The sound of a ball hitting a paddle is about as noisy as a power tool, an alarm clock, or freeway traffic. At an average of 750 pops per hour per court, residents near parks with 6 courts are dealing with about 45,000 pops per day. 45,000. It's a lot. Victims, I put that in quotes, are claiming it's causing them everything from PTSD to, as we alluded to earlier, divorce. This one guy's actually saying, I'm angry all the time because of how noisy the pickleball courts are near me, and we're about to get a divorce because of it. It's definitely not because this guy's got his own other issues. A guy who claimed it was causing him splitting headaches and elevated blood pressure is suing the Homeowners Association for $300,000 in damages. The San Francisco wife of a tech executive recently led a campaign to shut down her local pickleball courts, claiming they're disturbing not only the community's peace and quiet, but also the wildlife. And then it was discovered that she's selling her home. Guess how much the home is worth?
I have no idea. A lot?
$36 million.
Oh, that's a lot.
Guess
I'll
what she
buy it.
has in her home?
A pickleball court.
That's right. A karaoke court, a karaoke room that opens up into a pickleball court. Meanwhile, she's complaining that pickleball courts are a disturbance to the community, and she's leading a campaign against them. So she got justifiably ripped online when people realized that that was the case. Conflicts between pickleball enthusiasts and homeowners are popping up all over the country. There's an activist group now, the Pickleball Noise Relief, and it's primarily a Facebook group. They are dedicated to just preventing court installation and shutting down courts that are within 600 feet of homes. A lot of courts are within 600 feet of homes. Some say it's all overblown, like me, that most of these people are just haters, former tennis players, or they've just got nothing better to do. For whatever reason, they just hated pickleball from the get-go. And this is the thing they've aligned themselves with because, they need to feel important. That's it. Okay. So that's the end of it. What's your take on this pickleball noise issue? I feel like it's coming up more and more. We've got Owl Pickleballs. There's this paddle company that just launched with their silence. Like if you go to Pickleball Central, there's a whole quiet category. There's these guys developing quieter balls. It seems to be more and more common that people are trying to find solutions that don't entail just completely removing courts or not building them in the first place. But I don't know. I think this is like a trend that is growing and could like significantly impact the growth of pickleball overall. But what's your take on this? Think it's overblown?
I mean, I think it's going to be a problem in certain communities. I don't think it's going to be an overall problem. I think, I don't know. I think that the game has enough momentum and enough good stuff behind it that like dealing with the sound is not going to be that big of a deal, but maybe I'm wrong. I think this Facebook group, do we have any idea how many people are in this Facebook group?
We can look right now. I know it's like a few hundred, approaching 1,000. Let me see. So we actually wrote an article. So we interviewed the woman.
It has 870 members.
Yeah. And I wonder what that was like, a month ago. Like how fast is it growing? We wrote an article on it. So we interviewed this woman and we kind of got her perspective. So Jason on our team very much was like, took her side and thought, hey, we actually have a problem here and it's time for us to recognize it. Whereas I'm on a side of like, listen, I've lived in homes with a pickleball court right outside the door and it's never disturbed me, not once. And it seems to me most cases, it's just people who don't have anything better to do. You think it's like justified for people to be complaining? Do you think it makes sense that there's actually a group, like a Facebook group of 870 people who are out to prevent the installation of courts?
I mean, like, yeah, I would be probably not super stoked about it if my court was right next, or my house is right next to it. I just don't know if it's like an overall enormous issue, like case by case. Yeah, sure. But like, do we really need like an activist group for this?
Dude, it sounds like an AK-47.
Oh, give me a break.
They're like, yeah, it's causing like mental harm, mental disorders, and there's this whole thing on like learned helplessness.
Oh
which
boy.
Is apparently like if you just hear a repeating obnoxious noise over and over again, it essentially causes like depression and anxiety. So, I mean, they're claiming that there's like actual mental and physical impacts of having a pickleball court near your home.
I mean, like I said, I don't want to live next to a pickleball court, but like, I I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is the outcome here? For once, I don't really have that big of an opinion on
Yeah, I
this.
can tell you're not. You're a little disinterested in this. But we got to have hot takes, dude. It's a podcast.
Your turn then. I've always got the hot takes.
Well, I like that Jason on our team kind of took this perspective of, hey, you know what? She's right. There's a lot of validity to this argument. And we as pickleballers need to be more cognizant of this. Because, you know, there are these people complaining when pickleball courts go into their communities, and potentially it actually does disrupt their daily lives. And the initial reaction for most pickleball people is to just kind of like dismiss it and be like, on with the show. We're going to build these courts. And he thought that, you know, people just need to be a little bit more thoughtful when it comes to this stuff, and, you know, put yourself in that person's shoes. I like that he took that approach because I'm on the complete opposite side.
There we go. You get to play devil's advocate with your own writer. I like it.
And I wrote an article maybe 2 years ago, back when I was still writing articles, basically just like ripping one of these articles apart. And it was the first one that we had really seen where somebody was addressing this topic at length. And now we're seeing these articles like pretty consistently. There's probably validity if you are, you know, within 200 feet, which is rare. So I can kind of get where these people are coming from to kind of dedicate your life to, you know, taking down the construction of pickleball courts. And to be fair to the leader of this group, she said, you know, we're very clearly not anti-pickleball. I like pickleball. It's just that it actually does have negative impacts on people who own homes near them. I saw one article assert that it's devaluing the homes in the area. I'm like, I think that's the complete opposite. It's actually increasing home value.
You just need to change your marketing. You start marketing that, hey, this house has a pickleball court right next to it. Like, you're going to have some people who are like, okay, I'm out. And then some people who are like, shut up and take my money. Right?
Right.
You know, what I've been noticing is, without even looking for it, when I'm booking Airbnbs at these places, Airbnbs are literally putting in pickleball court in the title of the Airbnb.
Yeah. Making it searchable.
Right. Like, when you list your house, be like, has pickleball court next to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, real estate agencies are doing this as well. 2 years ago, that wasn't something you could actually like search for. Now, I mean, there's whole databases dedicated to this thing. And same thing with the Airbnbs. We have an article about like, you know, 12 Airbnbs or something that with a pickleball court that you can book, and it consistently drives traffic every month. Like, people are really searching for that. People want to book these pickleball stays. People want to buy houses with pickleball courts, either close to them or in the backyard. So I think it increases home value. So I think that's an invalid argument. I just think like the comparisons we're hearing are insane. I mean, they're laughable.
AK-47, give me a break.
A firecracker in a valley. It's like, really? Yeah, the AK-47 was unbelievable. That was like my personal favorite.
We should do a side-by-side.
What? Of like,
I'll hit a serve, you fire off your AK-47, and we'll see what's louder and what the police come for.
AK-47, please. That's awesome though. It's gonna make for a great headline, because nobody thought you could compare pickleball to AK-47s, but here we are. The one that like really stood out to me was like, I can't believe somebody even said this, was this guy who was stating that his impending divorce, or, you know, potentially impending, it's marriage is on the rocks, is because of the pickleball courts that has made him consistently angry for no reason. And that's carried over into the relationship with his wife. It's like, really,
this guy's got a rough relationship with his wife to begin with.
Dude. You know, everybody needs a scapegoat though. So yeah, I just think like the points that are being made in these articles are wrong, because when you go so extreme, you lose credibility, and then people are more likely to dismiss it. So kind of similar to how you said, got to change your marketing. I think these people do as well. There is a valid case to be made here, but as soon as you start comparing it to automatic weapons, and you start blaming your divorce on these kinds of things, like I'm just not going to listen to
It's good headline grabbing, that's for sure.
Yeah. But we're seeing more and more of this across the country, and so I think there's just going to be more resistance to municipalities and communities wanting to build pickleball courts. And then like this guy suing the homeowners association for $300,000, like homeowners associations are going to see that risk and say, we don't want to deal with that. And they're going to be less likely to get behind the building of future courts.
Yeah, I got really nothing for you on this one. I just got nothing for you. I think it's great that we are seeing so many new courts. I think this is going to continue to like be an issue, and I think there is going to be like more and more quiet brands. I guess it's a good problem to have. I mean, it means that we're being, when you have haters, that means you're doing something right.
Nice.
We'll put it that way.
That's a good take. Great podcasting there. Can I tell you about something?
Please.
Olakai?
Yeah.
You know this brand?
I do know this brand. I'm pretty sure I read an ad for them before.
It's a Hawaiian-inspired lifestyle brand, best known for their insanely comfortable footwear. Go to the last episode when we were in studio. You see me wearing the shoes. They're very cool, great for on-court and off-court. It's called the Now shoe. It's designed specifically for pickleball with a focus on airy breathability, lateral stability, and multi-directional traction and comfort both on and off the court. They feature a non-marking sole for indoor and outdoor pickleball courts with a design inspired by cauliflower coral that is found through Hawaii's ocean waters. The purchase of every Olakai product gives back to Hawaiian nonprofits. Look for their new limited edition print, and now it is on their site. It's live. You can go check it out, and that is olakai.com, and try a pair for yourself. Tulsi Gabbard's about to come in here. She might be out there right now.
That's pretty sick. Our boy Chris Williamson commented on my Nasty Nelson against Hayden.
He did?
Yeah, he reshared it to his story.
He might be out there right now, so I'll say it loud enough. He should play pickleball with us one time.
I agree. I tried to give him some lessons, but the dude is shit.
I'm going to send him that clip. That'll get him to respond. He brings it up on his show like
constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. It's his go-to thing.
For sure. Yeah. Well, we got to get back out there. I've played with him twice. Like, fun dude, super athletic. Loves pickleball. I think he was playing over at Sark down there. So in Austin. But everybody's playing it these days.
Mm-hmm. Guess what percentage of viewers that watch this show are subscribed to the channel?
On YouTube?
Yes.
25%.
Okay. Well, it's 45%, which is a problem still. 55% of people who watch the show are not subscribed to the podcast. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel. It helps everything that we're doing. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe.
Damn, if we're doing promos, can you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel too?
And subscribe to Zane's. He will come out to your house and hang out with you for a day.
I will, under zero circumstances, unless you're that lady with the $36 million pickleball house, come to your house.
What's the weirdest interaction you've ever had with a fan?
Oh, that's a good one. Ask me that next podcast. Ask me that next podcast. I've had a bunch. And I'll have to narrow it down. What about you?
The weirdest interaction I've had with them. I don't have many fans, dude. I've been asked for pictures. Typically when I go to a tournament, at least one person asks me for a picture, which is cool. But I don't know if I've ever had any like weird interactions. I mean, basically just the trolls online, except for you, Hey Shay. They get pretty aggressive, especially when you put up videos of me playing like shit.
Yeah, you get the haters.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have haters, you're not doing things right.
Every day I go on Instagram and I'm like, oh, Zane. Great.
We got a lot of good clips out of that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, not many like weird interactions. Only the ref at the tournament in Vegas, who like clearly indicated she was a big fan of the pod and then gave me a few calls, which was nice.
Hey, you got to use it.
Yeah.
That's not on you. That's on them.
What's next for you? Where are you going to be at?
I've got the weekend off. Our team's not playing in Kansas City this weekend, so gonna hang out, maybe watch a little bit of MLP this weekend, talk some shit from my couch, and next week I go to Kansas City to play. So, but dude, you got to tell me real quickly about your weekend in Dubai.
It was unbelievable. I was like 50-50 on going. I just don't like to travel, especially when it involves like changing your internal clock by like 12 hours. It was like a 9-hour time difference. Lost my bag on the way there. Flight was changed twice on the way there. So ended up being like 48 hours of travel or something like that. Showed up, no bag, just one backpack with shorts and a shirt. So if you look at videos of me at the event, people are in like blazers, like our logo's up there. And I'm in like short shorts and an H&M t-shirt that we bought for like $10, like
Nice.
right before. But other than that, it ended up being an insanely cool and fun trip. We were there for, just over 2 days. The event itself was unbelievable. I mean, they put a court on the 12th floor of this hotel in downtown Dubai with the backdrop as the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. And that was probably the coolest pickleball court setup I've ever seen. And then, yeah, like the event itself was just kind of like announcing everything that they've got going on, which is Pickleball World Tour, Pickleball World Series. And so the Pickleball World Tour is going to have all these subset tours in various countries. So like the first one I have is the India Tour. And then they'll have the Pickleball World Series. I'll be interested to see how many like touring and Major League Pickleball and APP pros play in that. And how many start to rethink their contracts in order to at least be able to compete in some of them. They're putting up $15 million in prize money across these events. There's one event specifically that has $1.5 million in prize money, which is completely unheard of. I think the highest prize pool ever next to that was Nationals last year.
What was that, $250,000, something like that?
Yeah,
200,000.
Yeah, it was.
I think we've had a few like 200,000 to 250 before.
Yeah. So this blows that out of the water. I mean, remember there was the Major League Pickleball where Steve Kuhn was like, I think it was $250,000 for the winning team. Was that it? 200,000 for the winning team?
It was the super finals
in Austin.
Maybe. That was the most for an individual player to have won, because the four of us won $25,000 each, and that was the biggest at that point. But that's because that's spread over only 4 players.
Yeah.
So 25,000 at that point, and it still might be the biggest individual payout in pickleball.
Right. Yeah, when you think about what's actually allocated to each individual player. But yeah, I mean, who knows? They're obviously at the early stages. It launches in 2025, right? So this is sort of setting the
This is just sort of like
landscape.
Yeah, interesting. So we are the tour wars back?
I think that's the biggest question, right? Like, does this become something that rivals PPA, MLP, APP? Or is this something where, I mean, there's still a chance that they work with the PPA, that they work with APP, that they work with Major League Pickleball. And this becomes kind of like a handful of stops that are considered part of the PPA tour.
For sake of the podcast, I hope there's another tour wars.
Yeah. Because clearly when I give you topics outside of pro pickleball, like noise issues, you got nothing to say.
I got nothing to say about noise issues. Yeah, sucks. Sorry. Yeah.
But
Tour Wars episode 4, A New Hope.
Super well capitalized. They've got the Times Group, which is like the biggest India media conglomerate, backing them. Based on when we went to the club with everybody, the number of times the bottle service girls came out, I think they've got plenty of capital to spend. So it was a really interesting crew of people. And like, you know, we're in this like club downtown Dubai. There's like bottle service after bottle service. And I just look over at Megan Fudge and Ryla DeHart, just like sitting there like, what am I doing here? And there was a bunch of people that were just kind of from pickleball in the space, you know who they are, who were at the club. And it was just very funny to see them in that environment. But it was a blast. And yeah, I think I'm sold on Dubai. Everything's so clean and modern.
Okay.
It's like a futuristic society.
We got to get pickleball in the line.
Yeah, that's in Saudi Arabia.
Gotcha.
I thought the same thing.
Futuristic, like, I don't know, oil societies.
Yeah. But cool. All right. We can end it there.
Yeah, we'll give Chris and Tulsi the
Apparently
room.
Whoever this Tulsi person is has to come in here.
Yeah, whatever they're going to talk about.
Yeah. Right.
Can't be anything more important than this.
Yeah. Say it.
Pickle pot, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, darling, had fun, yeah.